These are my American history notes revised, where I had written some notes on American history to teach homeschoolers, and then I shared it with everyone online here. But now I'm going to revise them. I'm working on seeing what I want to dig deeper into. So let's begin with where I left off yesterday. The colony was virtually independent of England. This is the Massachusetts Bay Colony. There was no royal governor or judge, no English army garrison, no parliamentary representative, nothing to keep it in line with English colonial policy. The form that this colonial government took became the pattern, very important, for other American colonies. The corporation, which had moved to the colony from England, consisted of freemen or stockholders who met in an assembly and elected governor, deputy governor, and assistants or counselors on an annual basis during a regularly called court. The move of the corporation as a business charter to the colony made the freemen voters, the governor and deputy governor as two chief magistrates, and the assistants as a Supreme Court. Now, by 1644, after a dispute over two stray cows, the Massachusetts government divided into two houses and thus resembled more of a modern state government. In order to participate in this government, you had to be a church member in good standing, and the annual elections made the government responsible to the people. It was not a democracy yet and was certainly run behind the scenes by the powerful families such as the Winthrops, Dudleys, Saltonstalls, Higginsons, Winslows, Ludlows, Masons, Clarks, and Gorges. But it had a body of laws and a Bill of Rights which benefited the common man as long as he was a good church member, with one given, that he would consent to have his babies baptized into the church. Winthrop and his assistants passed laws based on their own intuition and their own interpretation of the Bible. The people objected to such arbitrary power, so the Massachusetts Body of Liberties, adopted in 1641, and the general fundamentals of the Plymouth Colony ensured the standard safeguards of English civil law, such as trial by jury, no taxation without representation, free elections, and no one to be deprived of life, property, or liberty without due process of law. However, these safeguards applied only if you were part of the mainstream. As we're going to see coming up, and when I talk about the beginnings of religious freedom, that dissenters to the established norms of the church did not fare so well with these freedoms. Later, these principles would be incorporated into the Bill of Rights and the federal Constitution. Massachusetts was far ahead of English common law in the abolishment of torture, cruelty to animals being proscribed, and the fact that it was illegal to beat your wife unless it was in self-defense. So the events in England itself were important for the development of the new colonies, and I'm going to start on that next. So I hope if you watch the video, you'll click like and subscribe or follow. Feel free to make comments. Let me know if you don't agree with something I said or want to add something to it. I'd like to see what you have to say. Thanks.